Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me okay? Excellent, awesome. Oh man, well it takes work to be this fast, so it's just part of the game, It's like I'm late all the time and I'm just saving that up for these small moments. That's what it is. How's everybody doing? Looks like we got quite a crowd tonight. Look at this. B-Bro, Matt, John, what's up? Turtle Crawler, Nuno, happy to see you, bud. Blown Up, what's going on? Who else? Who'd I miss? Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. I don't even really know what I won. I was going to watch the stream, and then I had kind of like a family event I had to go to, so I missed it, unfortunately. I think I won some DIN rail or something like that. Super exciting. But I heard they're pretty, so that's pretty cool. I don't know, maybe they're like, they wouldn't be anodized. Maybe they're painted? You nailed it, John. That's exactly what it is. I'm hoping printing fast will redeem me for being late in everything else in life, not just 3D printing related. Handful of parts from the trails. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's going well, B-Bro. Yeah, I guess I won something. I don't know. Somebody said they're, quote, pretty DIN rails. I don't know what that means. I thought they were anodized. They must be aluminum then. Usually DIN rail is like galvanized steel, but what do I know? I'm not an electrical engineer. Need to get your V0 serialized? Dude, I've my Trident over there. I haven't serialized it. I've had it for like a year and a half. Aluminum or steel. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought they were usually steel because aluminum's not really like a great conductor. Like aluminum itself is conductive, but typically like aluminum grows in oxide coating, right? Which is not conductive. And anodized on its own is growing an oxide layer, which is not conductive. So, I don't know. But anything's an insulator if it's, or anything is conductive if it's thin enough or if the voltage is high enough. Am I right? Any electrical guys on here? Wow. Okay, what do I know? Holy shit, 10 meters of aluminum DIN rail? What the hell do you need that for, TFG? You just need to bite into it. Okay, that makes sense. That would be sick if they're carbon fiber. Of all the things that I could win that would seem the most like useless, I actually really need DIN rail. I don't know, I've got like 10 printers here. I've never used DIN rail. I like 3D printed some because I was so fucking cheap. I don't recommend it unless you modify to the design because it's not rigid enough just to like clamp onto with any like standard component. Also, it's not conductive. It's the cheapest per meter. Isn't that funny how like sometimes you can just buy things in bulk like that and it's like, buy 10 for $20 or buy 100 for like 25. I was getting, what did I get? I was getting like packaging made for some products that I sell and I wanted like 100 of them and it was like $60, but I could get 2,000 for just like an extra $40. So for $100, it was ridiculous. This is a no-brainer. But now I've got like boxes and boxes of product packaging. All right, so let's get into it. I was hoping to have more time to kind of get some of this cleaned up offline, but mechanically we're pretty much there. Electrically, still a nightmare, but whatever. It's par for the course at this point. It's all hooked up. We've got the motors set up. I've got the new belts on. They're kind of tensioned. I loosely tension them, no pun intended. So like, I kind of generally set it by using the kind of like ends over here, but they're not super tight. They're actually a little bit loose, but they are evenly tightened. They're not, it's not very precisely tightened, but they should be close enough so that like just by eye I don't see any like gantry racking. So If there's anybody on here that's building a Core XY for the first time, you have to have the belt tensions equal, because that is what determines how square the X-beam is with the rest of the frame. So if you have one belt tighter than the other, your gantry will rack. So what's up, Ola Ola? So I'm hoping that this is good enough. I don't want to over tension this because I have a theory that if this is too tight, then right, like it's just more like it's more tension on the pulleys and the bearings and stuff, so it's just going to be more added friction to the system. So I'm thinking looser, while it may not having the best print quality, may allow us to go faster. Something else that I did off stream was I pulled all of my XY linear rails off, and I cleaned all the grease off, cleaned all the junk out of them, and I oiled the X and the Y are actually just like ungreased right now. I actually need to oil those a little bit. Oh yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Is it B, bro, or is it bro? How should I pronounce it? What's up, Torx? Good to see you. No, I didn't lose any balls in the process, thankfully. Either one. Okay, cool. Yeah, make sure to just tell me, because I'm so bad with the camera stuff. Whether it's switching cameras or, you know, whatever, going to the display capture or on the screen or whatever. I didn't lose any balls. I've gotten pretty good at it. A magnetic screwdriver, like a little flathead, helps. I just wanted to clean those off because originally I used like a nice thick grease when I built this like a year ago? A year and a half ago? 2 years ago? Fucking A. And I've never gone back and like oiled them. And I did notice a big difference between oil on the X versus grease on the Y. So I'm hoping we will get a little bit extra on that, right? So looser belts, degreased rails, so less friction in there, less viscous friction. Hoping that makes a difference. And, oh, the tool head. So here's the other difference, right? So we've got 4 motors. They're all going to be running on their own stepper drivers at 48 volts. We may or may not have enough power, so we might have to cut the current down. Now, we could go to the graphs and we can kind of play around with this and generate and like simulate some torque speed curves and kind of see what the difference would be. But we don't have time for that, so we're just going to run these as is and just hope for the best and hope to see an improvement. But the thing that might slow us down is, in addition to having to cut the current, is we're now direct drive. So the print quality is going to go up, but now we've got a tool head that's almost twice the weight. So this tool head right here weighs about 200 grams. Kind of not the best. You know, it's it's a little less than a really, really well optimized stock V0.1 tool head. But, you know, here's what it is at this point. I'm just hoping that this kind of pushes us into an area of the torque curve where, like, it's not a one-to-one loss. So I'm hoping that because the torque curve is non-linear, I'm hoping that this added weight won't give us a one-to-one reduction. So, like, we doubled the weight of the tool head, and I'm hoping that it doesn't cut our acceleration in half. I'm hoping that it only cuts our acceleration by like 20%, and then we're able to make up all of that, and then maybe some from the extra motors. So let's see. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Just here to see the Long Rapido in action. Long Rapido rocks, dude. I've been meaning to post a video for like 2 weeks. Fuck, actually like a month. Oh my god, how time flies. But the Long Rapido works really well. Highly recommend it. Link in the description below if you want to support the channel. Really appreciate it. Doesn't cost you guys anything, but I do get a kickback, which is, you know, really helps. Helps me buy products to test because, like I mentioned last stream or the stream before, I don't make shit on YouTube. My total ad revenue for last month was 15 bucks. So, you know, YouTube, not very lucrative unless you're like a massive YouTuber. I don't really have any sponsorships. Full disclosure, Fabrico does kick me some free products every once in a while, but it's been quite a while. But yeah, definitely check this out if you're looking for a hot end that needs more flow. I was maxing out a Volkmosk Dragon High Flow with a CHT before this. I even maxed it out on my Trident. I'm thinking about getting one of these for the Trident as well. It's a, I did print my own hot end cover. You get quite a bit more flow. This thing, at reasonable temperatures, you can get, with ABS, you can get around 70 millimeter cube per second with a CHT. And that's with a Bowden setup. So with direct drive, you may be able to get more. Let's see. And it's really not that much more heavy than a stock Rapido. This thing weighs like 70 grams. Not bad. And I think that's what the fan, I took some pictures of, but I'd have to dig back into it. They claim like 100 millimeters cube per second. I assume at max temperature with PLA, you could probably hit that. Or with direct drive, you might be able to hit it. Again, I was doing Bowden, and there's a lot of frictional losses, unfortunately. So it wasn't that the filament was being like ground down and shaved down. It was that my little motor here was skipping. Yep, it is a ceramic heater. It's just like the Rapido, but it's like super volcano, basically. Okay, I don't want to take too long rambling. I want to get into this and get some testing. We're already 20 minutes in. So, let's see. What do we have to do? I would like to input shape if we have time. What else? I have to go, mostly I have to boot this thing up, go into Clipper. I have to add the second motors for A and B. The heater is like, I think they claim like 200 watts. Sorry guys, I'm like reading the chat as I'm talking. This is my ADHD, man, it's brutal. It's like 200 watts, but at full blast, it's like 85 watts. So it's like perfectly matched. It could be 100 watts, that'd be really nice. But it's good enough for most people that are printing reasonable, you know, things with reasonable temperatures and at reasonable speeds. Okay, so we have to go into Clipper and we have to set up the motors. I also have to double check that all the fans are set up, configured properly, because I've unplugged them and I've got like 8 fans in there. I just want to make sure everything's all set. I'm going to take one more look here and make sure that everything is plugged in. I've got the thermistor, I've got the motors, those are all set to 48 volts. And then we're also going to have to do some troubleshooting, because I don't know what drivers go to which motors. It's such a rat's nest back here. And I also have to check directions and stuff. And we're going to definitely, we should do pressure advance, but it's not as necessary when you're doing direct drive. So I may just leave it, say fuck it. Really, we're here just to test speed. And then, yeah, LGX Lite does not have very much torque. Here's the thing. Actually, I don't want to get into it. I love talking to you guys. I could just like sit here and talk to you guys and respond to the chat all night, but we really got to get going on this because I don't have a ton of time to spend. If I have time, I'll try and talk while I'm working, so that I can kind of, you know, we can chat and hang out and whatnot. I'm just going to move the camera. Alright, so I'm going over to the computer right now. I'm going to pull up Clipper. And we'll start getting this thing configured. Also, let me know if this top camera moves. It's just kind of loosely held in place by a rubber band right now. So it may kind of go off screen and start looking at my wall. Alright. Let me go to Clipper and I'll share my screen with you guys. Alright, I'll catch up on the chat while I'm typing. Let's see, does slapping a heatsink on the side of the stepper help that much? It sort of does, not a ton. It helps more if you have a fan blowing on it. and then you crank it up to 2 amps. So I was running, when I was running this as a Voron setup, I had the fan, the heatsink on there. I had a fan blowing on the heatsink, and I was cranking it way up. I had like almost 3 times the amount of current that most people running, and that does help. It helps so much that not only does the stepper motor not skip, but the gears don't strip the filament. What actually ends up happening is the LGX, the case, the nylon case, ends up like splitting apart, and the gears skip over each other. I gotta boot this thing up. That's why it's not starting. There we go. PA, yep, yeah, totally right, Turtle. It really doesn't need much. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just throw it up to like 0.0. Let's do it on the higher side. Let's do like 0.04. Because it's so long. So we've got such a long melt zone that there probably is quite a bit of like viscous, like damping in there. Excuse me. But I do put heat sinks on, like on my Trident. I prefer to run higher currents on my extruder motors. On my Trident, I do have heat sinks on there. I don't know how much it helps, you know, in a heated chamber when the temperature difference isn't that much. But you know, every bit helps, even if it's just a couple degrees. On stepper motors, there's kind of like a rule of thumb, which is for every extra 10 degrees that they, like if your stepper motor's at 70 degrees, and then you increase, you know, and that life is like 1 year or something, and then the temperature goes up to 80 degrees, the lifespan halves. So for every 10 degrees that you can drop off the stepper motor, you double its lifespan. It's a rule of thumb, but, you know, close enough. Yep, sorry, I'm not showing my screen just yet. I know I'm just talking. Trying to keep all my personal information off the screen until I'm ready to share. Which I think I am. Alright. Can you guys see this okay? You want me to zoom in? How's that? Alright, so let's do pressure advance first before we forget. So I'm just going to put this up to 0.04. That's arbitrary. Run current on the extruder we got to bring down. Oh, I had it down to 1.5. Let's put this down to, I have a note for myself. It says do not exceed 0.6, so let's put it down to 0.6. Hold current is kind of like a deprecated, it's like a deprecated feature in here. I'm just gonna comment that out. This is a really old configuration. I mean, I've had this V0 for 2 years, so there's been 2 years of development since I made this config, although I've been updating it over time. Let's see, and we've got to do the motors, right? Input shaping we should do. One thing I've got to do. I have not gotten back. I could do an incognito window, but can I still access like my Google stuff? Like I'm still trying to have my YouTube up and my Google Sheet. Yeah, fuck self-chop, dude. It's not necessary. Trinamic drivers are so fucking good. Even without it, like it's unnecessary. I think it just adds kind of added complication. Prusa has it as an option on their like Mark IIIs, but I always disable it. Man, it's just no need. Just no need. So I'm gonna dig up my V-minion config because that's got dual motors. And I've got to pull up the Octopus Pro diagram because I need to see what pins I need to set up. Sorry, I know nothing's happening. I'm on my second monitor here, going through my private files, looking for my V0.1 config. I love the sound of your printer thinking. It's a good way to put it. Dude, I have no problem running a input shaper on my little V0. Oh, V0? Or is it a 02? So here's the thing about printers I've noticed is like it totally depends, like how loud they are totally depends on the surface that they're sitting on. So like if I take my printer and I put it on a table, the table resonates. And so if I put it on like a carpeted surface, like on the ground on something really heavy, it like immediately quiets it. Or if I pick the printer up off of a surface and I just hold it while it's printing, super, super quiet. LolSync, get the FISEC, I'll show you on the overhead here. Get this. I think there's also a link in the chat below, or in the description. I think there's a link to this. I think it's the last link. But this is the portable shaper. It makes things so much easier. You just hook up a USB-C, no like fiddling with wires or anything like that. It's the way to go. It's all I use now. Yep. Thank you, Turtle. Thanks for backing that up. It is awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to copy these configs from my V0.1 config. So you're just going to see me pasting stuff in. We'll go back, we'll edit this. Stall guard, driver SVT, yeah. So Clipper makes it really easy to kind of like mirror stepper motor outputs. Basically what you do is like you've got stepper Y and you've got your driver for it, and then you do stepper underscore Y1. And if you want to do a third motor on like a single axis, you could do stepper Y2 and then stepper Y3 for an additional one. And you basically only have to like specify enable pin, step pin, and direction pin, and then your rotation distance and micro steps. You can specify more, but everything by default will get pulled from the original stepper Y section, which is awesome. Let's see, and then there also has to be a driver config as well. So I'm copying that now. And this obviously needs your usual miso mosey driver configs as well. So I'm just going to delete some extraneous stuff while I'm here. Sorry, I know this is super painful. I always hate going through config stuff on stream. And unfortunately, I have to confirm this. No, I'm using the same stepper motors and the same stepper drivers, so that makes everything easy. So I'm using the LDO, they're like the 48 millimeter LDOs that have a rated current of 2.5 amps. Link in description below. Shameless plug there. They're cheaper. That's the AliExpress link, and they're like $30 from China. So fuck that. Like, go to like West 3D or Fabrico. They have them for way cheaper. Yeah, the 2504 ACs. Yeah. I don't know if they're ACs, but they're 2504s. These ones don't have the integrated wiring harness, which I prefer. I prefer having it like being able to plug them into the on the stepper body. All right. So give me another second. I got to pull up the Octopus Pro pinout. And I've got to double check all these pins, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I was hoping to do this off stream, but alas, children take up a lot of time. Rat rig is half the price? Dude, good to know. But you have to pay for shipping from Europe, do you not? I don't know what their shipping prices are, but he ships from, I want to say France? Awesome. Okay, here we go. Found it. So, I know this is a hot mess right now. This is more for me than it is for you guys. I apologize. Portugal, that's what it is. Thank you, Nuno. Oh, your home country? Oh, tudo bom, Nuno. Hey, what's up, BBs? Welcome. All right, let me turn this guy around. So stepper 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. So that is which one's A? Is A on the left and then B's on the right? I've never bothered to figure it out. I hate saying that. Okay, Y is number 6. So then X would be number 5. So then X1 will need to be number 4. Y1 will need to be number 7. Sorry, I know I'm just throwing letters and all that shit out there. Z. Yeah, I hate that too. I don't like the split on the Z stepper. I mean, it's nice to have it if you need it, but who the hell uses that? Oh wow, that's super cheap, V-Bro from Portugal. That's awesome. I mean, shipping wasn't bad. They sent me the frame kit for the V-Minion, and it was like a week and a half. Really wasn't bad. All right, so I gotta start writing pins down. I know it sucks, but I'll forget otherwise. All right, so EN. I'll get so confused, it's just not even funny. Alright. Step, der, CS for motor number 4 is PG2, PF9, PF10, and PF2. Motor number 7, we've got EN, step, DIR, CS, PE0, PE6, PA14, and PDS. Okay, and then I'm going to need the Mosey and Miso stuff as well. Where is that? Top? Where is that on this chart? I thought there was a chart on here for Mosey and Miso. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Or is it the same for all of them? They're all the same. Thank you, Turtle. PA7, PA6, PA5. Yep, you're totally right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So I need to figure out stepper Y is on motor 6. I just gotta track these down and figure out which is which. And I'm just gonna unplug. No, that's not gonna work. If this was a pure Cartesian machine, I could just unplug these and just run them. I think I'm just gonna use continuity to check which wire's going to which on this printer. Pull off a random cable. I'm going to check motor number 5. Number 5 right here. I always hate touching these. 48 volts is no joke. Come on. You can do it. Come out. There we go. All right. And I'm just going to try the blue. Jump over to the blue here. I'm not getting anything. Oh, I am. Okay, all right. So motor number 5 is whatever this is, A. Does that sound right? I don't know, beats me. And I think I actually have these wired properly, which is nice. Okay, so motor number 4 will be, motor number 5 is what? What'd I say? This one, which is, I'll have to check in here. Motor number 5 is X. Okay. So now I change these configs X and X1, I don't think that was necessary, Y and then Y1. And I don't know if the directions are right or not. We're going to do run current of just 1 for now. We'll try cranking this up. I don't know what's going to happen if we use more than this, if we end up pulling more power than this power supply can provide. PD11 used multiple times. Okay, let me go back. Config. PD11 is where? That's on stepper Y1. Motor 1. It's not right. Test it with my tongue. Yeah, not that brave. I've got a kilowatt, so I could check the power draw, but I've got an AC bed and I have a 24 volt power supply for everything else. So that would not help me very much, unfortunately. PD11 is used twice. Okay, so let me just check again. So that's Y1. Oh, and the extruder. Okay, so I need to okay. That's weird. So Y1 needs to be motor 7. Hey, Cheezosaurus Flex, what's up, dude? Am I worried about maxing out my power supply? Yeah, totally. So at 48 volts, this power supply will only be able to supply 4.4 amps. So that would be 1.1 amps per motor. I was running the other ones, like just when I was running the pair, I was running 2.9 amps, which is 6 amps. So maybe, I don't know, maybe like the average power draw is fine, or there's some sort of like buffer, or not buffer, but like there's like a safety factor built into this power supply, because I don't know. I've tested this before and I still can't come away with an answer. So I've looked at like proper design documentation, and the amount of power that they recommend for your power supply always ends up being less than I actually measure being drawn. So this might be totally fine even if I'm running ridiculous currents. Or maybe the power supply just chokes, keeps operating at a lower current, but the motor thinks that it's getting enough. Okay, so Y1 needs to be motor 7, that's what I said, right? So enable pin is going to be PE0, step pin PE6, direction pin PA14, and we'll have to check all this again. We've got stepper, and then CS pin is going to be PD5. We'll just have to double check all this stuff. So even restart, back to the dashboard. So what I'll do is I'll try and do some moves. I'll disconnect one or two of the motors, and I'll see if they're all turning the right way. See voltage drop by greater than 20%. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay. So we'll lose speed, but we'll be... Okay, so we'll just be trading speed for torque at that point. Just interesting. Okay. I wish I had like a voltmeter, like some sort of like data logger on the voltage to see what's going on with it. But this thing really needs like a... Shit, it needs like a 400 watt power supply to keep running this. Or actually like 300, 350 would be fine. Okay, so let's change cameras. Let's go back. Oh, been on the camera the whole time. PC power supply. Well, it's got to be 48 volts, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to just send some commands. We're going to move this thing, and I'm going to take a look and see which direction each motor is turning to make sure that the correct motors are turning the correct way.
Oh shit, actually, I just realized that I've got these hooked up wrong. So I've got to change these pin configs. Not a big deal. I'm just going to write on these because I don't want to forget. This is Y. And this is X. This is Y1. This is X1. So these, the drivers are set up in the same orientation as these motors here. So this driver is X, this one is Y1, this is X1, that's Y. No. X, Y. Yeah, X, Y. Y1, X1. So I've got to flip those, it seems like. Right? Yeah. Oh god, when can this be done so we can do fun things? Okay, sorry, I'm taking with the config right now. I hope that's right. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. Hey, what's up, Mad Shammy? Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in, man. Stop back in like an hour and hopefully we'll be running this thing. I'm just double checking this config. It gets so fucking confusing. I would love to run my steppers. So this power supply actually has like a pot so you can adjust the voltage. So I could even crank it up to like 54 volts. Okay, I'm just going to save and restart and just going to run it. Shouldn't hurt anything. I've got no errors. That's a good sign. So I'm going to unplug. Actually, I will leave. We'll do a quick test here. So I will unplug X, Y, and X1, and we will move, and then we'll plug them back in. We'll disconnect X and Y, and then if this moves in the proper direction, we know everything's perfect. Chances are it won't be. Okay. That's the focus. Watch on the overhead. I've got home first. Fuck, I hate that. It's there's a command to override and move without home, right? What is that with Clipper? On Marlin you can do it. This board definitely doesn't have enough heat sinks, that's for fucking sure. Force move. what do I say, like force move G0 X1 or something? I can't remember, I've used it before. Force underscore move, let's try that. Force underscore move, is it G1 or G0? I got it, that's okay. Hey, what's up, Helga? I'm gonna do G0 X1 and I'm gonna fire it off with the, just hovering over the emergency stop. Okay, it didn't move. Unknown command force underscore move. Fuck, what is it? Fuck it. Let's just home. Okay, homing failed due to printer shutdown. Unable to write TMC SPI stepper 1 register global scaler. Usually that means a dead stepper. But that can't be right because I know these work. So stepper X1 is in motor slot. Could be that, you know what it is? It's because I've got these disconnected. I'm pretty sure. Let's restart. Let's try and fucking home and hope this thing doesn't blow up. Can be wiring. It's because I had the, yeah, well, typically that says like, what is it? Open load B or something is usually wiring. Yeah, let's just full send it. Let's do it how we do. Moonraker's disconnected for some reason. Sometimes I get that when I do a firmware restart, Moonraker is just not, it says disconnected and it won't reconnect. Unless I restart Clipper. 0.2 current, that's a really good idea. Genius. Although I may get an error that way. Let's find out. Okay. Run current 0.1 on stepper Y1. Run current 0.1 on stepper X1. Okay. Alright, let's see if this thing moves at all. No. Okay, error again. Fuck, hey dude, I know this works. Okay, stepper X1 register global scaler. Alright, so I have one of the, something's messed up here, so let's go, I'll bring it back to the boring ass fucking config. Let's go down to stepper X1, we'll just double check it all. Stepper X1, right here. Enable pin, PE0, which is correct. PE6 for step pin, PA14 for DIR, PD5 for CS. Let's just double check. Driver 7, PE0, PE6, PA14, and PD3. I can't read my own handwriting. Well, that will do it. It's direct drive again. Uncomment the steppers. Yeah, I can, you're right. Good idea. We're just going to go with this. Home. Home fine, but then it skips steps on the way back. So now that we're here, let's just try and step in the... Man, Core XY makes it so hard. Let's just step in the X. I did home. What the fuck? It's telling me I got home again. Bullshit. End stop Z still triggered after retract. What the fuck, dude? I hate fucking with this stuff. This is like the least fun stuff and we're doing it on stream. I hate it. I'm sorry. just want to run this thing. My God. I should have configured this before I did all the belts, unfortunately. Let me think if there's an easy way to do this. I think we are going to have to do the force. I know there's a way to do it. Force move. Yep, totally right. Enable force move in printer config. Alright, let's go to config. Printer. I'm going to put it down someplace we can find it. Do it right after include main sale config. Enable force move. True. Save and restart. Steppers to the homing override. I don't think I added them to the override. I did set their currents, but I set it really low because I just wanted to test. I'm just trying to confirm the direction. I know they're wired differently than the other stepper drivers, so I could just do the opposite of the direction, and that's probably the best way to do it. So Y direction is inverted, Y1 the direction is also inverted. Let's just do the opposite. I think that'd be a good place to start. X is inverted, X1 is also inverted, so let's do that. And yeah, so you can see sometimes I get Moonraker, it just says it's disconnected until I only restart Clipper for some reason. Contains parsing errors. It's weird. Enable force move. What the fuck, dude? That's my fault. Why didn't you guys tell me? Oh, that's cool. Stepper buzz? Oh, I've never seen that. Dude, there's so much cool stuff in here. I'm just finding now. Fuck, I should have done this from the get-go. Let's double check all this stuff while we're here. Stepper X. Okay, so that's this one. Right here, if you look on the overhead. So that's right. Let's do stepper X1. Wait for this to stop. Does it 10 times. Stepper X1 is not moving at all. Probably because the run current's too low. Let's redo this real quick. That way we know our wiring is good. Okay, let's restart. That's a cool command. Hey, what's up, Dana? Dude, I never followed the initial setup. I'm the worst. I am the worst person to design a product for because I never follow the instructions. Yeah, I'm the worst, man. I admit it. Okay, it's this one, so that's the right one. Now let's do Y1 and just confirm all of our wiring. I mean, by default, it would be that, right? But the other thing I learned is that I didn't tighten this pulley all the way. Let's tighten this while we're here. Let me actually run this back and forth, get this pulley aligned. So that's how I align my pulleys. I don't, I mean, I kind of measure them, but like the Voron manual says to, I do read it sometimes. I do read the documentation sometimes. It says to measure a certain amount, the pulley a certain amount away from the stepper, motor, but that's assuming that every pulley is identical, and sometimes they are manufactured differently. But that's what I do. I just leave the pulley loose on the shaft. I run the axis back and forth, and that aligns the pulley on the shaft to directly where it should be with the belt. Because sometimes there are misalignments in the frame and stuff, and that can throw everything off a little bit from where it actually should be in theory, right? A little bit different from the CAD. Oh, it's great for motor direction as well. Wait. You're a genius. So let's do stepper X, and we'll see which way it goes first. Okay, so it's going clockwise first. Now we'll do stepper X1. Or let's do Y1. I don't know if I can run these at the same time. We'll do Y. It's going to wait for this command to execute. This was counterclockwise. So we had clockwise, counterclockwise, X1, so this is going the wrong way. This is X1 is counterclockwise. Needs to be opposite direction, no? Yep. And then let's do Y1. So we've got to invert X1. Y1 will probably be the same. And Y is correct. Okay, so I think we only have to invert X1. Well, the other thing too is like, I find that the belt can ride up and down throughout the travel of the axes. So, like if I have my head back in this corner, the belt may be a little lower than if I run it in the front corner. And that's, more of a problem of an improperly built frame or an improperly cut frame. Alright, so let's flip X1. We'll double check all this stuff again. Oh shit, no, that was... Yeah, it was X1. Where is it? Oops, I put that in the wrong place. Should be by the pin declaration. Okay, so let's just double check this. X. Let me switch cameras for you guys. Thank you, Sean. I figured that out. Thank you, Turtle. I appreciate it. Alright, let me get you guys in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the quote X, stepper X. This is stepper Y, X and X1 right here. So these should be rotating in the same direction. So it should go clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And this should do the same now that we flip the pin. I'll draw a little line on top here so that you can also see the direction. So we're going to do stepper X first. So we'll stepper buzz, stepper X. So clockwise, counterclockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Perfect. Alright. Let's do X1. After this, it'll take a moment. And this is clockwise, counterclockwise. Perfect. Alright. So now all of our axes are set up properly. So we can actually run this thing. So let's...
home it and hope that it fucking works. Because this could screw, having two axes or two motors on the same axes could totally screw up our homing. Because I'm doing sensorless. Kind of a nightmare right now. Just touch these drivers, make sure they're not roasting. They feel okay. When you're pushing them up to 3 amps, they absolutely hate that. Alright, so let's home Y first. I don't know why. Feels right. It did not sound good. Are the belts tensioned? Belts are tensioned. Let's just try X, which won't work for sure. Okay, that was totally fucked up. It's weird. Let's put the run currents down just so I don't feel like I'm going to destroy anything. Do 0.5 amp on everything. Hopefully that'll run. Alright, I've set them all to 0.5 amp. It just makes me feel a little bit better. Let's just run these. There you go. We'll run it across. Okay. Let's try and do... I mean, it doesn't matter. I really should do force move. Yeah, let's do force move. Let's mess with this and see what's going on. So, in order to use force move, I'm going to do force move. Ah, dude, it's kind of a fucking mess. It sucks. So, oh god, this is a fucking mess here. Stepper X, stepper X1. Let's hope that this works. Doing some weird command stuff. I don't know, man. Value 100. I'm not sure what the default values is. Malformed command. Wonderful. It's weird that it's like on a stepper by stepper basis. It's not like Cartesian or like a G code that you're forcing. Let me try and just home this again and see what happens. Do X. Okay, alright, so the stall guard is all screwed up. We've got to test this. I'm trying to move +1 in the X direction. Well, here's the thing, is I know that the configure for X and Y are fine, and I haven't touched those. So I just need to match X1 and Y1 up to those so that they're identical. Let me turn this around so I can see what's going on. Okay, so part of the problem is that Y1 is not holding. Y is also not holding. Or sorry, they shouldn't be holding anyways, they should be moving. It seems like Y1's trying to go the wrong way. Even though we checked the... Let's stepper buzz these again.
counterclockwise, then clockwise. Yeah. There's a bunch of slack in here too. I think we might have to tension these even more. Oh, these are flipped. Okay, so I have to invert Y1. Okay, it's just human error. Alright, now it should work. Are the Ys fighting each other? You nailed it, Sean. I did check Y with stepper buzz, but I'm just an idiot. We should just all expect that. That should be the default. You know, it's like turn it off, turn it on again. Just is fail an idiot? Yes. Alright, so let's home X, and let's just try and move +1 in the X direction. This should work. It's working. Very aggressive. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But let's just see if any of the other steppers are turning. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's stepper buzz X again and just double check, make sure these are all right. Yeah, looks good. So that's counterclockwise, or clockwise then counterclockwise. Stepper buzz X1. Okay, and X1's going well also. It could be that oh, you know what? If these aren't perfectly in sync, then you'll get slack between them. But that's why this config may not work. Like on a contusion like the V minion, it's perfect because they're like equally spaced apart, so the theoretical belt lengths are the same on like top and bottom of the belt. Whereas like this is pretty complicated. So this, when this one's pulling the filament this way, or the belt this way, it's like force feeding the entire system slack. And this one is only forcing the belt just a little bit. I don't know. Let's try and move this thing again. It sounds super chonky. Let's home in the Y and see what happens. Okay, and let's move in the Y. So here's the thing, is Y sounds way quieter. Can you guys hear that? So Y sounds good. Nice and quiet. Time to print a boat. And it still sounds like X and Y are fighting X is fighting each other. No, it sounds good. Never mind. Both axes sound good. I don't know. I think it's just the jerk of going plus and minus 1 millimeter on the X that sounds like shit. Okay, so we have to tweak the stall guard settings, so I need to make them less sensitive. So that would be, well, let's put these all back up to, let's do it 1.5 amps on everything. Because we were doing them at 3 amps on Friday. So this is kind of like cumulatively the same amount of current. And then stall guard threshold, what is it? It's more and more sensitive the higher driver SGT gets, so let's make it less sensitive. So we'll set these to 0. Stall guard threshold to 0. and save and restart. We'll see if this gets any better. Yeah, I think it's probably bump it up to 10 amps. Fucking A, dude. I'd love to. Alright, I'm restarting Clipper. Got the config set. Let's try and home now. Okay. So let's go even less sensitive. Let's go the opposite way. Let's just go to the extremes. Let's do negative 63 sensitivity on Y and negative X. Negative 63 on X as well. And the idea here is we just want to make sure that it's all functioning, which is a good idea because stall guard threshold is, or stall guard is just kind of a mess, especially on a Core XY. I've heard that it changes with temperature, which makes sense as to why it would be so erratic. Alright, so it's negative 63, so it should just try and home regardless. It basically will never sense home. What the fuck? Okay, that's weird. Unless I've got these backwards. Let me double check this. Go to Clipper Docs. Right, so go to the sensorless homing docs. Clipper sends or less homing. Thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me that. You've got such an awesome chat. You guys are the best. TMC. Okay, driver SGT. Let's just driver underscore SGT. I'm going to search directly for that. It is different. Sensorless homing, the stall guard threshold is different for 5160s and 2130s, and 2209s are different. So 2209s just go from 0 to 255, which is nice. It makes sense. So negative 64 is the most sensitive. Okay, so let's go back here. So we're going to do, let's try 5 for stall guard threshold on all this stuff. I should try and home hopefully regardless. It's interesting because these are they usually end up being around 0 every time. Regardless of printer for me. It's either like 0 or 1. Alright, let's try and home X. Okay, perfect. So we can dial that back a little bit. Let's just do like 2. We knew 1 didn't work. So we know we're in the ballpark with 5. Put that right in the middle. Yeah, crunchy. End stop Z still triggered after retract. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh shit, one of these wires are broken. I gotta resolder this. Alright. This is turning out to be way more fun of a stream than I was expecting. I say that sarcastically. It definitely all-wheel drive definitely complicates sensorless even more. But it is what it is. The sacrifices we make. I wish I had originally set this up for end stop homing, to be honest. But I've run sensorless homing on a bunch of Cartesian stuff before I got into the Core XYs, and it worked phenomenally. And honestly, it works pretty well on Core XY. A lot of people say it doesn't, but it can. Every single one of my machine uses sensorless. It's the way to go. When it works good, it works good. When it doesn't, it works terribly. Alright, so I got a solder there, in there. I hate these shitty micro switches that Formbot shipped. They, oh fuck, I got the wrong tip on here. It's already hot. They just have like leads on them. No JST connector or anything, which sucks. Okay, let's hope there's just enough solder on here to on the terminal down there to just make this work. I'm just going to tin the tip here just to heat this up a little, just to melt that solder on the terminal just a little bit better. And just got a little flux in there so it's not a terrible connection. There we go. Apologize. You guys won't be able to really see this very well. Yeah, I gotta tin this thing first. There we go. It's gonna be a terrible solder job, but I don't care. It just needs to last long enough to finish this stream so that I can run this, and then we'll fix this later off stream, so I'm not wasting your guys' time. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's do X and Y here. It's gonna sound super crunchy. Y sounded super crunchy. I'm gonna go back to 1 and see if that works, because it, like we were originally testing this with run current of 0.5. All right, home all. Okay, Y worked good. X is fine. Perfect. Fucking A. Alright, we can run now. You use sensorless on your all-wheel drive. That's good to know. Well, I had a fan blowing on the motor as well, Helga, on the LGX. And so I had the heat sink, and then I had a fan dedicated to cooling this because I was running it at 1.9 amps. So I was really trying to force filament through to try and aid flow. And that was before I got the STD hot end here. Alright, let me just show you guys this, we'll get set up to actually do some runs. I am going to take a quick break, just check and make sure the wife is still okay and she doesn't need help. It's amazing how once you have a baby, like just even the most like just like the most minuscule tasks become this monstrous challenge. It's like, oh, you want to go pee? Yeah, good luck. Try and do that while holding a baby. They just require so much time. Just fine. Love him. Not knocking the process of being a parent. But your life changes in a crazy way. So I'm going to bolt this thing down. We'll take a 5-minute break. I'm going to go check on her, make sure she's all good. We'll come back. We'll do some runs. And we'll do just some like basic test runs. We should probably characterize this thing. Characterize the limits of the acceleration and the speeds, so we can get an idea of what's possible to run on a speed benchy. Or we'll just go right into some speed benchies and start cranking it up. I think that's probably more fun. I imagine that's what you guys want to do. Appreciate it, Alla. Trying not to be a shitty dad. I don't know if they knew what they were naming it. Like, it's Triangle Labs, so it's like a bunch of dudes in China. But I don't know if they knew, or maybe it was like an inside joke, like, oh, we're gonna, you know, Vez is coming out with the long schlong. Well, this is gonna be his STD. Alright, feels like it's bolted down enough. Alright, oh, we have to put the backpack, the cover of the backpack on, which is right here, and this has like 40-20 fan on it. So this is going to be critical, otherwise we will roast those drivers. There we go. Hopefully the backpack still fits with all the extra wires in here. Didn't sound good. There we go. All right. It's on there, sort of. There, that should be good enough. All right. The soldering station, it is, I'll put a link in the chat. I like it a lot. It's got a soldering station. It's got a hot air rework. Goes up to 350C, and it also has a built-in power supply, which is nice. I mean, it doesn't get cranking super high, but you know, it goes enough. It's like 16 volts, and it goes up to like 2 amps or something, and it's got a little USB in there, which is nice. It's the Yihua 853D. I got it on Amazon. And it comes with like a bunch of shit, which is really nice. So, like, it comes with like solder, the iron, you know, solder sucker, like all sorts of stuff. There we go. The 926. Thanks. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it, projects. Thank you. It'll all be worth it when I force him to mow my lawn for free for like 7 years. Dude, if he just like picks up all the 10mm sockets I drop in my engine bay, I will be happy. I think I've made that joke like 100 times, so I'm definitely a dad. Yeah, I don't know. I was a pretty useless teenager, to be totally honest. So we'll see. If it's father like son, then we'll find out. All right. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna check on the wife, and I'll be right back. By the way, is the background music still going? I like to leave that on the intermissions. All right. I'm not gonna wait for a response. I'm gonna go check on the wife. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Be back at 10:08, maybe 10:10 if I decide to pee. Yes, very faint. Okay, that's good. Music is on. Okay, cool. I don't want it to be just quiet. Okay, I don't want to be too loud. Is it better louder or quieter? I don't know. I'll put it up for the intermission. How's that sound? All right, I'll be back. All right, we're back. She's doing good. Everybody's good. So we're gonna keep streaming. We will do a couple runs. We're not gonna we're not gonna try and lead up. We're just gonna get right into it, try and run some crazy numbers. And then if it skips, then we'll dial it back. And then we'll do the giveaway. So I gotta preheat the extruder and load up some filament. It's gonna get a little noisy. I apologize for all the fan noise. Go. The overhead's like one of my favorite views. I think it's probably my favorite camera angle when doing crazy benchies. It just, because it's hard to capture how far the tool head's moving in the Y direction. When you're overhead, you just see it zipping around. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. So I did reslice. I mentioned on stream number 1 or stream number 2 that I lost, my hard drive got wiped and I ended up losing my original 2-minute 43-second G code, which sucked because I had some really nice optimizations in there. But that's just the way she goes. So I did reslice it and I did some optimizations. So hopefully we'll get a decent run. And I really don't know what to expect now that we're direct drive. Oh, we can do some quick flow tests too while we're here. Won't take long. Come on. Oh, what the fuck? My extruder motor is, the direction on that is flipped. Quick test. So this is ABS. Let's try 50 millimeters per second. Okay, that's working fine. Let's try 55. Oh, that sounded like it was about to skip. Fuck. You really do need that extra drive force. Yeah, little skip there at 55 millimeter cube. That sucks. Bump this up to 265C. So let's increase the heat on the hot end and see if we can make this work better. All right. Okay, that's working okay at 265, so we're getting 55 millimeter cube per second. Let's go up to 60. Still going well. Little bit of die swell. Get the camera down in here so you guys can actually see what's going on with the hot end there. It's a tough angle, I know. That was working well, so let's go up to 65. It's going well as well. A little bit of die swell. That's okay, 65 should be fine. Let's do 70 millimeters per second. Oh, fuck. Take the direction on the screwer. Okay. Going okay. And stepper motor skipping, and it just locked up. Okay. So we're 70's too much for this thing with the LGX light. I'm going to bump up the temperature on the extruder motor. It's pretty cool in here. We should be okay. I'm going to flip the direction. So, direction on extruder motor there, and go up to like 0.8. Okay, let's do let's do 1. It should be okay. Let's just roast this fucking thing. I'm not messing around. It should be okay. We'll just double check the heat when we're done with a run. It feels fine it's like ice cold right now at 0.6 amps. Alright. You guys still there? Looks like the OBS says the stream's still going, but I don't see anybody in the chat. Oh, took me a minute for my chat to catch up. Give me a second just to catch up on the chat here. Did you turn up square corner velocity? I do. Speed benchy record I think is 2 minutes and 40 seconds right now. 2:30-ish? John? Who broke 2:30? All-wheel drive is going, man. It's going. We finally got it running. This heater actually doesn't have a lot of thermal mass, so it really doesn't take too much. Yeah, it's 240. I'm 243. Someone else is 240. Yeah, Braravel. So I helped Braravel actually hit 240. He was like asking me for a bunch of help. He was at 250, and I was like, oh yeah, make this change to your speed benchy. And then he ended up beating me, which is fine. There is a list for entries, but it's not really kept up. It's not really maintained. I'm not even on there. Granted, I probably shouldn't be on there. I did have a big layer shift. But let me bring you back over to the computer. We'll take a look at the benchy here. $1:30 is unofficial? Wait, who the fuck did 1 minute and 30 seconds? Dude, no fucking way. Jesus. So I really don't have a ton of optimization in here. Pretty basic. I just spent some time getting basically like linear lines and none of that like jagged infill. It's hard to avoid on the roof of the benchy. You know, it just is what it is, but I did a good job of avoiding it on the back of the stern. I've got a little bit right here, but that's about the only kind of zigzag motion. So it did pretty good. The infill's going to look like trash. The top of this is always going to look like trash, but the top of the deck, excuse me. Plastic does act as coolant, but you don't necessarily need thermal mass as long as you have your as long as your control algorithm can respond quick enough and you can put heat back in there fast enough, then it's fine, right? Like, think of like the material on your hot end, like the heater block being like, instead of like being like a bucket, it's just like a hose, right? As long as like you can flow through the heat fast enough, then you don't need that thermal mass. You don't need that buffer. Usually it's not the case though. Was that the speed or the time of day they printed it? So this, I've got this set to 76 millimeter cube per second. I think that might be too fast, but you know, fuck it, it is what it is. And then I'm running all of these accelerations at 250K, and then the travel acceleration is 80K. So my logic here was that I would be able to set I should set it to like 100. Well, I have it at 80 because my travel speed is at 800. So I'm trying to balance two things here. I'm trying to allow I'm trying to restrain the print speed down to the maximum that I need. Basically, like whatever my volumetric flow rate is out of the hot end, I want to match that with my speed. But it's a trade-off between speed and acceleration. So the more speed you have, or the more speed that you're going to run, you need acceleration to match that. But the way that the stepper motors work and the way that current is applied, and like the way that we just use like a linear or constant acceleration, and so if you have speed, or sorry, you only have. Oh man, it's been so long and I'm getting drained here. But like, basically, you only have so much energy in your stepper motors, and so if you're going to run like 1,000 millimeters per second velocity, you don't have that extra torque, the available torque of your stepper motors drops off with speed. And so you basically can pick one. Like, the higher your speed goes, the less torque you have available, and so therefore your acceleration will be less. But like the lower your speed, the more torque you have available. It's just the way that the torque curves work on a stepper motor because of all the inductance. The more torque you have available, the less back EMF you have, and therefore the more acceleration you can run. So you want to strike this sweet spot of speed and acceleration without skipping steps. I know it doesn't make any sense, but basically you've got to balance your speed and acceleration. And I'm doing the same thing with travel speeds here. So I've bumped up my travel speed to a higher velocity, but if I try and run 250K like everything else, it'll skip because I don't have as much torque available at that high speed, at that higher RPM. So I've voluntarily limited the acceleration here. I'm going to put it up to 100K. 1, 2, 3. I feel like 80 is kind of low. We save this, reslice it, we'll send it, and then we'll start printing it. Volumetric speed, I'm going to write to 70. Max print speed, let's set it to 600. First layer speed, 350. Got combined double infill. Concentric fill on the top. All the layers are aligned for top and bottom. No 45-degree shit. Because Core XY uses both motors when you're moving purely in X, purely in Y. So let's upload this. We will set let's reload this. Load out all the extra tabs. We reheat. 265. Bed 60. That's one thing I need to check in my slicer actually. What are the temperatures for the filament? I actually have conservative fan profiles here. I should just crank this thing up, but I am a little concerned. 275 and 270. Okay, so that should be fine. I'm concerned about overcooling this because it's not eSun ADS Plus. I did order some. Thank you very much for the donations. I really appreciate you guys kicking in on that. But it's not going to get here because of the Christmas rush. There's a torque drop off. Thank you. Yes. Yep, totally right projects. You're right, the tip does cool off faster, especially with the CHT. Hey, what's up, Actor? Welcome! Perfect timing, dude. You're gonna watch this thing explode. Alright, so we've sent this. I'm gonna re-upload just one more time. And let's go back to mainsail here. And we're gonna limit this voluntarily to 150k and 600 velocity. No, we're gonna do 1,000 velocity. Although I think I have it as 600 in the config. I do, I've got to go to 1,000. So I want to leave that travel speed. So we want to be able to do 800 travel, but printing 600. Because we want to make sure we've got all the acceleration we need for actually printing and doing all those like really jerky movements. On travel, you're going a lot further distances, so you want the extra speed. In addition to that, you're not doing these back and forth movements, so you're not fighting all the like built up resonances and vibrations in the machine that you would be during printing. So square corner velocity, let's knock this down to 30. It's going to slow us down a little bit, but it should save us from skipping, hopefully. We'll crank this up. Increasing square corner velocity can get you a bit more speed, but it increases the sort of like, it's not a technical term, but it increases the jerkiness in the corners. And so, yeah, that's where you can skip, is when you're changing direction, especially if it's like a straight back and forth. Alright, let's print this. I'm going to switch you guys over to the main camera. Am I forgetting anything before we start? Also, how's the camera angle? Do you guys want wide, or do you guys want tight like that? Yep, let me grab a fire extinguisher. It'll be fine, but just because. Big red blob here for you. Wide? Okay. Wait, you got it. I know, I'm so sorry about this beam. It's really tough. There's not really a better place to put it. If I put it higher, then it knocks into the fan. If I put it lower, it's not as effective. And this machine is all about performance. Alright, let's run this. Too much vibration. Okay, good to know. Perfect, alright, good. Glad everybody's in agreement here. Whew! Alright, I'm nervous. Alright, 150k. Print speed is 600. Let's hope that the Z is okay after disassembling the X and Y. Yeah, after disassembling the X and Y, right? I really, these, while the Y rails are now aligned, they may be skewed up or down together. And so we may not be totally, like our Z offset may be a little bit different, and this bed really should be re-leveled, but it's benchy, who gives a shit? As long as it sticks, that's all we care about. What brand linear rails? I have, these are stock Formbot on the Y and RDBB on the X. We were talking about this, but if I was to get them again, if I was to buy new ones, which I need to on the Ys, I would get Honey Badgers. They're great for the money. Hector's awesome. I love buying Fabrico. Hector, so we had a question about this. Are the Honey Badger rails, are those Z 1.5? Or are they Z2, Z1? We were trying to figure this out on stream last Friday. Okay, so we're at 275C, where we are where the extruder should be. Now the bed is heating up. I've got to change the custom G-code. I'd like those to heat up. Custom preload with unpublished spec. Okay, gotcha. I can't remember. I think I did medium preload on the X. The form bots are probably, they feel like medium on the Y as well. For speed, you know, you are willing to sacrifice quality, so you want it as low as possible. But it would get really sloppy, especially on the X. So it's better to have a more moderate preload. I have some... Okay, so we're already skipping. Oh, man. From where we start. Okay, so let's limit the speed down to 500 and see if we're not skipping. Let's see if it's an acceleration or a speed issue. And because I haven't had the side fans on, these ducts are already getting a little soft. I need to print this out of HTN. Might have to take this off. I think I gotta take this off. It was worth a shot. This is just printed out of PETG. I knew it wasn't gonna last. I just was hoping that I'd be able to get this up and running long enough to, or fast enough so that I'd get the part cooling fans running and cooling it down. Oh yeah, this bolt is totally loose. This is totally molten. Ooh. One sec. Gotta push this soft back up. There we go. No, it was not. It was PETG. It was just so warm that it was as soft as TPU. Alright, so let's limit this down to, what did I say, 500 acceleration. And we're going to run 150K, which is, it was a problem even with the stock motors that we had. Not stock, but with the dual 2504s. Alright, we're preheating. While I'm waiting, I'm going to change the G code, the start G code, so that everything heats up all at once. Actually, I think it's in the config. It's lighter now. It should be faster. This may make the difference. Who knows? G-code start, where are you? G-code start, print start. Oh, this is all just default. There's nothing in here. So it's funny you mentioned that, Morbus. So is there no? Okay, let me catch up on this. Okay, so Morbus. So the reason why the LGX, it's not overvolted, but it is extra current, and that's to increase the pushing power. So, PEC CF would totally work, but I print HTN CF here. I've got really nice stuff. It goes up to like 220C. It's the best stuff I could find on the market. It's Lubicon based. So I'll just print this part out of that. But I'm running a batch of HTN stealth burner decks right now. I could take the part cooling fan off. I've tested this before. I had a theory where if I pushed filament fast enough and I moved the print head fast enough, that the airflow of the head, like the head moving through the airflow, would be enough to cool it. I did it with a Mosquito, and I tried it at 500 millimeters per second. It worked for about 30 seconds. I was meaning to make a video of it, and I had thermal imagery of it and everything. But my hard drive got wiped, so I never was able to upload it. Okay, cool. All right, we're up to temp. Let's run this thing again. 500 millimeters per second. Let's do 140K. That's where we were doing okay before. We had one skip, I think, on the bow. So let's just run what we were doing before and make sure that we're not losing any performance. Because we might be, because we are direct drive now, which, you know, kind of a bummer. Oh yeah, I could definitely do a 7-minute benchy that's nice. I did one that was 4 minutes and 59 seconds, and 30 seconds of that was spent on the smokestack. I think I could print a nice benchy in like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so what is going on here? So, why didn't the Z home? What the hell is going on here? Home everything and just make sure we're all good still. Weird. Now Z's not skipping steps. I don't know why it didn't. Didn't work. That's weird. I'm gonna do 120K, 500 per velocity, 30 square corner. Man, this direct drive really makes it tough. I miss Bowden already. Nah, it's not Z offset, because all that was fine on Friday, and I haven't touched the Z axis. It's the G, or it's the G code. Yeah, for sure, it's the G code. What the fuck, dude? This is so annoying. Sorry, I just want to get a benchy for you guys. I know I'm just over here complaining. I'm sorry. I hate to be this negative. I'm going to run an older G code and just make sure that it's not the G code that's the problem. Giveaway has not happened. I want to get at least like a benchy or two. And then we'll do the giveaway. I just feel so bad. You guys are sticking around, watching me dick around with wiring and configs and shit for like 2.5 hours, and we don't even get to see this thing haul ass. Okay, there we go. So it's definitely the G code. So it's something in the slicer. let's just run this G code. So this is 120K, 500 millimeters per second, 30 square corner. Benchy's the giveaway. I'll give away it. Whoever wants a benchy, send me your address. You can have as many benchies as you want. All right, we want it to 280C. We're gonna see if the hot end can hold at 280 degrees. Lower the camera? Yeah, you got it. It's so deceiving because the bow, it looks like you're almost halfway there. You know, it's like the most exciting part. You're flowing all this filming, you're moving super fast, it's like the highest velocities. And then like, that's only like a minute in. We still got like 2 more minutes, I'm sure, just for the pillars. They take for frickin' ever. But you can see some artifacts on the bow. Like flow artifacts. Definitely some cooling artifacts. These fans are only running at 30% right now. Like they're quiet. I can bump them up and see if it'll hold. Oh no, they're not 100%. That doesn't sound right. Whoop. We lost it. Terrible adhesion on the bed. Let's see that. Look how ugly that is. Terrible, terrible layer adhesion. I don't think it was close enough. Like I said, when I pulled the XY gantry off to delubricate the rails, I really needed to redo the Z height. As a band-aid, I'll just add some extra glue here, and I'll bump up the live Z and we'll just smush this right into the bed. Actor. Alright, sorry, I just gotta clear the errors and all the usual stuff. I could switch the top view for my PC screen. I don't know if you guys would prefer that. But I can flip-flop all these displays. I don't know, I think the computer shit is pretty boring. Alright, so I'm gonna ram this thing into the bed. I'm gonna go up like 0.02, maybe 0.03. Just really smush it into the bed. And again, let's just do 500 again and 120. Just keep it conservative. I just want to get a benchy out. Just want to get some success for you guys. I really appreciate you guys sticking around this whole time. I know more than half of you are here just for the giveaway. I don't blame you. I would be too.
What's with the skin color ABS? It was $5 a kilo. I got a whole case for like 40 bucks, $10 shipping from eSun. When filament's that cheap, you can't pass it up. Dude, it's super sus. So I'm going to try and bump up the acceleration. What the fuck? Oh, that's why this is working. I forgot this fucking G-code. The accelerations were super low. This is 50k acceleration. This is so slow. Like, I wonder why this is working so well. I'm going to go back to a different G-code. Bed wobbling definitely has an effect. That's why I'm printing towards the back of the bed, wherever the supports are. Alright, I'm gonna kill this. This is just too slow. It's only like 50k acceleration. So it definitely has, yeah, so bed wobbling definitely has an effect. So if you were to like imagine the machine turned sideways and the linear rails are back here, you're wobbling, the bed's going to wobble like this, right? And so there's more deflection at the tip than there is at the back. So I'm actually printing at the back of the bed right now to minimize the effect that the wobbling has. Alright, let me do another, find a different G-code. That one sucks. Way too slow. Alright, I think I found one. Alright, so we're going to do 500 velocity, 120 kxl, and 30 square corner velocity. Probably going to skip steps, but yeah, is what it is.
I'm gonna troubleshoot why my latest G code is giving me issues with the Z height. I don't think Kirigami is any stiffer than the stock bed, to be honest. Yeah, skipping steps already. This is hilarious. I've never seen this command before, or this error. I gotta show you guys this. Anyone ever seen this? Timer too close. This often indicates the host computer is overloaded. Check for other processes consuming excessive CPU time, high swap usages, disk errors, overheating, unstable voltage. Dude, that's fucking hilarious. That's awesome. It's a Pi 020, so it's got a quad core. I think it's probably unstable voltage. I think I'm pulling too much current with running all 4 motors off of a 200 watt 48. No, I take that back. I take that back. It's definitely not a voltage issue because this is all running off the 24 volt power supply. Timing issue? I've never run into a timing issue before, and like this wasn't even like a fast print. I was skipping steps though at the same time. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I think I'm just gonna restart the Pi and hope that that fixes things. The Pi is powered off of the 5 volt power supply off of the board, and the board is powered off of the 24 volt power supply. And it's a massive, the 24 volt system is massively overpowered. It's a Pi 2.0. Oh, 20 watts for the 48 volt steppers? That, I do not think so. I'm going to restart the Pi entirely and just hope that that fixes things. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. It's definitely not 20 watts. It's way more. It's not just a factor of voltage and current, because there's mechanical power that's required as well. It's really weird. If you look at Trinamic publishes a way to calculate it, and it's really weird. Not only is it like the purely electrical power, like voltage times amperage, but it's also, you have to factor in the mechanical power. It's fucking weird. But the thing is that a 2.4, I mean, I'm using 4 motors on X and Y. On a V2.4, you're only using the Z steppers for like a split second. And most people are running way less amperage and voltage compared to what I'm doing. I mean, 1.5 amps, a lot of people are doing that. But 48 volts basically doubles your power consumption right off the bat. wait 1 sec. I'm updating this G-code file because I want to run a different temperature, so I'm just manually changing it. G-code 150K, 280, 275C. Okay, let's go back. Machine. Okay, Lotto, let's see. You just tested how much current was being drawn from the power supply. I mean, I don't know, man. What are you measuring it with? That's the question. Just like a kilowatt, or... And is that holding, or is that running? Alright, let's start this up again. I'm going to go even more conservative. I'm going to do 100K Excel and 500 velocity. It's so lame. I hate doing such low limits. But I think the really low current on the motors is kind of killing us. Actually, fuck this. Let's crank up the current on the motors. We were at 1.5. Let's do 2.5. And I don't know, if we run into issues, we run into issues, but let's just, I don't want to leave anything on the table. So we're going up from 1.5 to 2.5 amps, and hopefully the power supply has enough power to supply this. Otherwise, like Jesusaurus Rex said, our voltage will drop to compensate for it, which is okay, because that means that our acceleration will be, we'll still be able to maintain our acceleration, however our velocity will suffer. And I'm rebooting the Pi again, just for good measure. Whoop. Oh, NEMA 23 is at 48 volts. I see. Look at the machine tab, seeing how high the CPU. Yes, that's a good idea, Lotto. Thank you. I should do that. Alright. Let me... reboot. Clipper. Wait, what's a Clipper estimator? They had a special power supply. That's cool. Oh shit, look at that. Use Clipper estimate from Clipper Estimator and Super Slicer? Dude, what the fuck? How did I not know about this? I mean, don't even pay attention to the G-code because it's sliced for like ridiculous speeds and accelerations, and then I manually adjust the limits. Okay, yeah, thank you for, yeah, send me the video about the power draw. Fucking A. Dude, how did I not know about this sooner? That's awesome. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Bro, appreciate it. I mean, I can see the Excel decel versus... Oh, it breaks down the time of everything. Fuck, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Can't wait to check that out. I use Super Slicer. I've just been using the baked-in, like the vanilla estimator. But it sucks because it uses, like, I don't know, still uses jerk. Did the benchy print? I canceled the benchy because it's too slow. I cranked up the currents, and we're gonna do another benchy right now. I just gotta reboot my Pi here. Alright, it's rebooting. Sorry. I'm gonna take like one more stab at a benchy. Dude, I love the shutdown line on the Octos Pro. It's a great feature. I'm gonna do one more benchy. 500 millimeters per second, 100K. Super slow, I know. And then we'll do the giveaway. I'll call it a night. And I might do another stream again before Wednesday if I have time. I'll send it out in the usual means. I usually kind of blast it everywhere. I do it on the Facebook page, on Voron Owners Chat, G-Chat, Build Showcase, and on Rolo's, on my channel on Rolo's Discord. And then I'll fuck around with this a little bit more and see what's going on. I'll probably put a probe on the power supply, and thank you, educational. I'll check that video out. I think what I'll do is I'll put a probe on the power supply, and I'll keep running these these currents, and then if the voltage drops, then I know that the power supply is overloaded. It's tough because the V0 is so freaking small that you can't really package anything into it. So, God, what was the guy's name? David Irwig, I want to say. He ran like he had the record for a while. He ran a 2:50, 2 minute 50 second benchy or something like that. He's got like 20 subs last I checked on YouTube, which was like 6 months ago. And he had an awesome machine. 48 volts, huge drivers, not Trinamics, they were like external, but he had a giant like base that he mounted, like a cabinet that he mounted his V0 on to keep all of his electronics in. Alright, so 500 millimeters per second, 30 square corner velocity, 100K XL. Let's do it. I've got to lower the stall guard threshold. Yeah, I'll put his channel in the chat. I just got to hover over the E-stop until I feel confident that this is not going to skip steps, a massive amount of steps immediately. And then I'll look up his channel. Alright, about to start. We're about up to temp. Just gotta wait for the temp to stabilize. Whoa, okay. Interesting. Same error. Timer too close. I gotta screenshot this. He was the guy with the Magnum Plus. Yep. Dude, same error. It's weird because I've never outrun the Pi before. And I've been doing... It's not so much about acceleration, it's more about velocity when you're outrunning Pi. Or the Octopus, but it's not the Octopus because I've run 1500 millimeters per second on this machine, so I know I'm not outrunning it. It's, like I said, it's a timing thing. Let me check the Pi. Let me make sure it's not roasting. Pie feels fine. Doesn't feel warm at all. But yeah, it's like cool to the touch. If we go over to the machine tab here, we can see, well, it says the pie, 2%, 36% memory usage. Temperature's 35°C, so it's like, it's nice and cool. Let me copy this. How to turn up your 5-volt to the power? Usually means an undervolted pie. It could be. It's been fine forever. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this later. I really appreciate you guys' help on this. I wish I could stay on longer, but I can't. So let's do the giveaway. We'll call it a night. I won't call it a win, but I'll call it a night. And let me write down this error before I forget it. I have the Pi powered off of the 5-volt power supply on the board on the Octopus Pro. Not the most stable chip, but it's fine. Morbus, here we go. So we've got a spreadsheet here. I will share it with everybody. Nice, looks like we've already got a bunch of guys in. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And what you guys will do is put your name in, put your email, and your country. If you live in the US, free shipping. If you live outside of the US, you will have to pay for shipping. I apologize, but like I said, I basically don't make any money off of YouTube. I don't have any paid sponsors, so there's not really any money coming in. So this is my gift to you. I already lose enough money spending it on printers that I don't need. Yep, the giveaway is for the machined V0 X gantry. I've got one left, and the next stream that we do will be, I have a really nice touch screen. I think it's like a 7-inch touch screen. Should be Clipper compatible. Wicked nice. It's like a $100 touch screen, $180 touch screen I think on DigiKey. So that'll be kind of like the final giveaway. If you're having problems entering the giveaway here, let me know in the chat and I will put you in here. That's okay, that's good to know, Torque Spider. Yeah, you know, it could be because I have dual motors on there. Yeah, you're totally right. Oh, dude. Yeah, I might have to decrease micro steps. Yeah, that's a good idea, Torques. Alright, so who's still having issues? Just repeat for me. I know some of you have spoken up and I will manually add you. You can't yet, you're in America? If the power supply is undervolting, it will undervolt the Pi. That is correct. But I've got like a 200 watt, 24 volt power supply, and it's only powering the Octopus Pro, the Pi, the extruder motor, the Z motor, and the 12 volt fans. Do you have a small 5 volt power supply? I absolutely could. I mean, it's a Pi Zero, so I could just plug a micro USB in there. Probably a good idea. Alright, let me, well, blown up. Wait, we're gonna do the giveaway. Alright, one more chance. Who is having trouble, sorry, it's kind of a mess, Tristan. Who can't put their information in here? I'll manually put it in. Is mine in? Nuno, let me see if you're in there. I'll put you in here, Nuno. Okay, you're in here, Nuno. Who else? Wrote the info in the chat. Okay, so Morbus, are you having a problem? That's what I do with the Pi. You run it up separately. Yeah, I was running off a little... Yeah, it's a fucking mess, dude. Just go like a couple like lines down and... Morbus, what's your name? Is it just Morbus? Are you on here as Morbus, or... Okay, Maker, you finally got in. Matt, you're good. Okay, let me check for you, Andre. You're... Oh, Nuno, you are in here. Okay, cool. Alright, Andre, let me check. I don't see Morbus. And Andre, you're not on here. Okay, let me add you in here. I'm just going to put you in as Morbus / Andre. Tristan, you are in. Alright guys, I am going to start condensing this. Alright. There we go. Takes a little while. Because I manually drag it. It sucks. I don't want to delete any lines. I see you guys messing around over there. I wonder if I could just copy this whole thing, actually. Spaces and all. You're good, you're good. Alright, that's it. No more entries. And go over to the Wheel of Names here. Put you guys in. Awesome. Oh shit, I never had to condense that. Awesome. Thomasosaurus, Mike, Dan, Chris, Alex, Dave, The Hammer Birch, Dana Frost, Nuno Vincente, Wade Foundstock, Omar B, Leon, Alex, Crash Max, Frank Hulligan, Bob, Nick Rotolo, B-Bro44, Rob, Sean Walridge, we got Lord Apples, we got Gestalt Lab, we got Tristan, Chris Zach, Chris, Steve, Carlos Alonso, Kalash Mikhail, Luke, Kieran, Jakub, John Stern, Michael, Matt, Rob, Tony, Morbus / Andre. Alright, we good? Yo, shout out Proton Mail. Also, shout out Proton Mail leak. That was sick too. Love it. Nothing like having encrypted email that gets leaked. Alright. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. I'm running it. Woo! Let's see. Let's see. And if you don't have a V0 and you win it, then you've got to buy a V0 kit from Frederico. Whoop, John! John! Oh, John! Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. That's great. Man. Awesome. Well, congratulations, John. I'm very happy it was you. I swear to God, I know he said choose me in the Google Sheet. I didn't choose him. This is totally random. This is an online thing. But John, super happy you won. I really appreciate you sticking around for all the streams, not just this one, so I'm very happy it went to you.
I mean, if you want a spool of flesh-colored ABS, you can have one. Oh, man. Hector said do another one once he, one more. You got one to send, Hector? So I'll send the one to John. Hector, what do you want to give away? You want to do another X-beam there? Oh, John, you want black or silver? Hector's got you covered on this one. Cool. All right, Hector, you got a silver one for John. Hector, you've got a link to the sheet. John has his email in there. I think it's johnstern2000@gmail.com. There's no blank spaces on the in there. Oh shit, there is. You're right. If it's a blank space, then it's just a respin, just extra suspense. Hector, I've got another one to give away, so I'll give this one away as well. Let's just you know, it's the spirit of Christmas. Let's run this thing again. No, I like the spaces. I think it builds suspense. Alright, I'm spinning it again. Here we go. Let's go. Let's see. Alex, Crash, Bob. Is it Nick? Is it Nick? Nick Rotolo. Let's go, buddy. It's you. Awesome. Well, this beam right here, this has got your name on it, Nick. I'll shoot you an email, buddy. And I'll get your address. We'll get this sent over to you. Awesome. Congratulations, Nick. Awesome. Oh, this is so much fun. I love giving shit away. Woo! Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with me through all the wiring and the configs and the freaking step direction bullshit and the errors. I had a lot of fun, though. I hope you did, too. We'll do another stream, hopefully in the next couple days before I go on 3D Printing Nerd. Because if this thing is a fucking mess while I'm out there with him, God, that's going to make for a shitty video, and it definitely won't get aired. So we're going to do another one. I'm going to do a little bit more troubleshooting before we do that, and then we'll do hopefully another stream maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, where we actually run this thing and get a fucking benchy out of it. Cool. Alright, guys. Well, take care. I'll see you again, who knows when. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day.